Welcome to Selenium with Java January 2024 batch online training session 8. In today's session, I will start with TestNG framework, which will take total 2 sessions to complete it. So as of now, you already learned Java features like including ops concept, collection framework, multi-threading, other Java part, and Selenium WebDriver standalone functionality also means like how to kind of do different kind of operation on different kind of elements, drop down, right, XPath, CSS, element locator, and other attribute. But whatever you've learned is it in isolated way. But whenever you'll be working in some real-time framework, right, you need to implement some sort of framework and you need to create some framework from the scratch. So slowly you will be moving towards some framework. Okay, so in the framework you'll be you'll be seeing lot of changes. Whatever conventional approach you have followed so far, there will be some sort of changes will be there. But you need to learn everything from the sketch to the advanced part. Otherwise, right, every time in case for the smaller project, in case you are giving someone to training, right, you are developing someone, so that time you'll be facing the problem. So that is the reason we should start with from the scratch, but we should slowly go to the advanced part. So in today's topics, I will cover like what is TestNG all about and step-by-step installation guide, TestNG annotations, how to enable and disable test case priority and sequential execution, hard and soft assertion in TestNG, and importance of depends on method, always run, invocation count, invocation timeout, skip fail invocation attribute in TestNG, and how to run multiple test suite in TestNG. So that are the different topic will be covered today, and remaining TestNG advanced topic will be covered in next session. So what is TestNG? So why framework is required? So in the conventional way, right, whenever you are creating any kind of test case, you already see, in case you are having 1000 line of steps, still it is considering as a one single test case. But that should not be our objective, right? We maybe will having suppose say 10 steps, 20 steps, 30 steps, and we want to segregate every kind of category in a separate test case so that it will not impact the other. So that is the one step. And apart from that, right, we need to run multiple things parallelly, right? We need to group them, right? We need to generate some sort of proper report. We need to debug them. We need to fix the maintain the script, right, very smoothly. That is the reason framework is required. There are a lot of variety of the framework is there. Slowly you'll be learning like in details. But like TestNG is one kind of framework. So TestNG where NG stand for next generation is a JUnit inspired open source automated testing framework providing several features like error-driven testing, parameterization support, different utility, annotation, and test case grouping that aid in creating robust and powerful testing project. So I'll cover what is this all about. So initially, JUnit framework similar to TestNG was already available, and primarily JUnit used by the developer for unit testing, but there was no separate framework was not available at that time for the testing perspective. So JUnit also can be used for the testing perspective, like whenever you will be using BDD framework, right, behavior driven development, you will be primarily using JUnit. But for end to end system integration testing standpoint, right, JUnit might not be fruitful much, so where TestNG will play a pivotal role. So TestNG is some sort of advanced framework inspired from JUnit only, but it is having some sort of added advantage. So that is the reason TestNG is very much popular for the testing practices. TestNG is designed to cover all categories of test. It can be unit testing, functional testing, end-to-end, and integration testing. Using TestNG, user can generate a proper report. User can easily identify how many test cases are passed, failed, and skipped. In case user need to execute the failed test case only separately, it is possible to execute. So as of now, you have tried to run a number of test cases, but did you able to get any kind of report where it is clearly mentioning how many passed, failed, skipped, all this stuff? No. So that is the reason, right? We should create some sort of proper framework where it will giving me the complete picture, right? How many test cases run, how many failed, passed, blocked, all this stuff, and I can get some sort of overview. So that will be missing until you are going with some sort of framework. Okay, and suppose in case, right, you don't want to execute all the test case again and again and again. Instead of that, right? Suppose that there is a defect fixes, there is a hot fixes, and you only want to run only the failed test case. So is it possible in the normal way? No. In case you are implementing some sort of framework like TestNG, it will be giving you the option to run only the failed test case instead of running all the suits again and again. And that is the way you will be getting your desired result in short span of time, and it will help user to reduce the overall timeline of the project. Why TestNG is useful in Selenium? So the testing framework can be easily integrated with different tools like maven, Jenkins, etc. It generates the report in a proper format, including number of test cases run, out of which number of test cases passed, fail, and number of test cases skipped. I already mentioned. Multiple test cases can be grouped more easily by converting them into testng.xml file, in which user can make priority which test case should be executed first. So whenever you will be using testng, there will be one feature called testng.xml file, where you can segregate the test cases, you can group the test cases, and then accordingly based on your need you can try to execute them. So what is grouping mechanism? So grouping means, suppose say, I'm just giving a simple example. You have designed 100 test cases. So is 100 test cases, are you able to execute everything? Even there is no need also. So out of 100, you can segregate some test cases at the sanity suit or the smoke suit, maybe 10 test cases. Like 20 test cases, you can go for the end to end. 30 test cases, you can go for the integration. Like 20 test case, you can go for the UAT perspective. So that is the way you can separate or segregate the test cases into the including different group, and based on your requirement you can run only those group wherever the impactance will be there. So that is the way, right? Instead of running all the test cases based on your requirement, you can focus on the test cases execution based on the grouping pattern, and it will be only one time activity. Once the group is done, and you will be executing only the group based on the group, so the automatically you will be getting the desired result, how many number of pass, fail, skipped, all this stuff. So that is the way group is very useful kind of features in the test engine. The same test cases can be executed multiple times without any loop, just by using keyword called invocation count. So in the previous videos you already seen, right? In case suppose say you need to execute a single test cases, so you need to copy the line of code and you need to rerun it n number of times. Suppose say today your requirement is to run 5 times, so you need to copy it. Tomorrow your requirement is like to run only 3 times, so again you need to remove the couple of steps. Day after tomorrow your requirement is to run 10 times, so again you need to copy and paste it. But in case some changes is happening, right, you need to update all your script again and again and again. But in TestNG, there is a feature in the test level. If you add invocation count parameter or attribute equal to x, so that will be run for x time. So in case today you need to run for 5 times, you simply change invocation count equal to 5. That's all. So single test case will be running for 5 times. Tomorrow you need to run 100 times. So you just need to make it invocation count equal to 100. So automatically that test case will be running 100 times. Why this kind of rerun is required? Especially whenever you are trying to execute some test case to generate some sort of test data, so after varying the thing, you need to generate 100, 200, 500, 1000 data as well, right? Due to some sort of requirement, basically for the performance testing, right? You need to trigger a lot of transactions. So that is the reason you need to execute couple of test cases n number of times, but it is not possible in that way. But in TestNG, using TestNG framework, in case you are making invocation count equal to x, and automatically it will run for x number of time. Okay. Using TestNG, user can execute multiple test cases on multiple browser, cross-browser testing. Suppose say, in case you are having 100 test cases, and 100 test cases can be run in different browser. And apart from that, if you want to run like say 30 test cases in Safari browser, 30 test cases in Chrome, 40 test cases in the Firefox, you can also do the setting one time and automatically it will run across the different browser. There are a lot of annotation used in TestNG are very easy to understand, like which is already default or the defined TestNG, like before method, after method, before test, after test. Okay, and there is another annotation called at the rate test. So at the rate test will be considered as test cases, but all the before and after is the precondition or the post condition. So in the real time, right? You don't want to right update your test cases. Instead of that, you want to give some precondition, right? Suppose say you want to launch the Chrome browser, you want to maximize it, you want to delete all the cookies, right? You want to like kind of launch some URL, so that is your precondition, so that every test case will follow the same pattern. So after the your URL is launched, you can do that kind of transaction, right? That is the way. It will save you a lot of time. In case you need to update only that kind of precondition, so you will only updating in only one case, so automatically everyone will be impacted. After that, you can have n number of test cases, and then you can have some post condition, right? Clearing the kind of cookies and then closing the browser, all this stuff. So every time, right after every test case executed, every time browser will be closed. Again, a new browser will be open, and again new URL will be launched, and again test case will be executed. Again, like browser will be closed. So that is the way. In case you are making the precondition and post condition, so that will be applicable for every test case. And in case you need to update somewhere, you'll be only updating only one page, right? One kind of space, and automatically every test case will be impacted accordingly. TestNG simplifies the way the tests are coded. There is no more need for a static main method in our test. So that was the thing I was talking in couple of sessions back, right? So in case you are creating any Java class, so by default your uh, public static void main method is required, and your execution will start from there. But whenever you are using TestNG framework, there is no need to use of any public static void main method. Without that, you can execute n number of test cases, you can develop n number of test cases. The sequence of action is regulated by easy to understand annotation, and that do not require method to be static in nature. Uncaught exceptions are automatically handled by TestNG without terminating the test prematurely. These exceptions are reported as fail step in the report. So that will be covered as per the assertion. Okay, suppose in case you are having some problem, right? But you don't want to stop the execution of the whole code. So what will happen? Your particular step will be failed, and it will be reported as a failure, but the remaining line of codes will be executed as usual. So in a single test case, there might be 3 or 4 failure as well. That is the way, right? If suppose in case you are executing any end-to-end test case, there might be couple of multiple failure instead of one. So all the failure you can get to know after the execution is over for the particular test case. What are the important features available in TestNG? Okay, I already told about that kind of grouping part. I already told the report part. Right after execution, an HTML report will be created, which will provide you the tabular report of test result. The reporting format is also configurable by implementing TestNG listener part, that will be covered in the next session. Different type of assertion, I already told, right? TestNG has an assert class which provide multiple methods supporting different kind of assertion, like checking the equality of the expected and actual result, asserting a condition as true or false, asserting if a value is null. So asserting is nothing but the adding the verification of the validation point. Because whenever you are dealing with a real-time project, your objective is not to right move from one page to another page. No, it is not like your objective. Definitely you have to navigate from all the flow. Apart from that, for all important condition, you need to validate that your expectation is matching with the actual result or not. In case it is not matching, the test case should be failed, and you need to log a defect. Running the test in parallel, I already told, right? You can run the test cases, right? Either as a method level, class level, should level parallelly in different browser, different operating system. Make the test case dependent on one another. Why it is required? Suppose say you are having, you want to automate an e-commerce site. So what will be the step you need to follow? First is that you will be opening the browser, you will be opening the URL. After that, you will be getting some user ID password, right, or some sort of code. Then you will be logging into the system. After that, see, this is your first scenario, login. Second scenario is kind of searching some product. Means you will be entering some product name and size, other stuff you will be searching. Then the adding product to the cart. After the product is added to the cart, you can add n number of product, then you can make the payment. Once you are making the payment, right, you can cancel your product, your transaction. Apart from that, once your product is delivered to your home, in case you are not satisfied with the quality of the product, the size of the product, you can return them as well. Once everything is done, you can close the browser. So why dependence is required? Suppose say in case right? Your id password is not working, then there is no point of executing the other test case because your test case is failing at the first step. So that is the way you can make something as dependent. For the end-to-end test cases, like suppose you are having some 5 or 6 flow, so you can make this thing can dependent, right? So that one, in case your precondition is executing, then only dependent test case will be executing. Otherwise, instead of failing, it will be simply skipped. So that is the way we can save the time. In case product is not available at all product has been sold, there is no point of like adding the product to the cart and going for the payment, because anyway those will be fail. So I already know, so that is the way I can fail the test cases like the product is not available, and the remaining step, subsequent step, I can make them skipped instead of failing again and again and again. That is the way I can make something as dependent on the other. Prioritizing the test cases, right? Because test case will run based on the alphabetical order, ascending order, A to Z. Okay, sometime in case you are not right kind of maintaining the proper order, say your test case will be executing on the alphabetical order. So suppose say you want to automate an e-commerce flow, and alphabetical order your payment is coming fast, but in case you are not able to log in, you are not able to add the product to the cart, you are not able to search the product, there is no point of payment, your payment will be failing. So that you can do some sequential, that first you'll be logging to the application with the proper user id password, then you'll be searching the product, that is sequence 2, then you'll be adding the product to the cart, sequence 3, and then you will be right making the payment, sequence 4. So that is the way your test cases execution flow will not be fail, and you need to make them sequence. Data driven testing, that is very useful feature of the TestNG. Say you want to execute the same test cases with different variety of the data. So with data driven approach, you can do it. Suppose you need to search n number of products, but your login will be same, right? You'll be just going to the same search box and you'll be typing A, B, C, D like that. So your parameter will be the search box criteria. Apart from that, remaining thing will be still same. You will be, once the product is retrievable, you will be adding it product to the cart. Once all product is added to the cart, they will be making the payment. So only different step is your product, right? Your product size, your product name. Remaining step will be still common. So that is the way. In case I want to vary couple of parameters, I can execute the same test case again and again and again with varying the different kind of data set, right? It is called data driven testing. Okay. Then it is called parameter. So TestNG provides inherent support for parameterization using it at the rate parameter annotation. The value of the parameter defined using at the rate parameter annotation is passed to the test logic from the testng.xml file. So what is data driven testing? So data driven testing means single test cases we are running with the different variety of the data. But what is parameterization? Parameterization means we are executing multiple test case with same set of data. So that is the main difference between two aspects. Data driven testing is we are executing same test case again and again and again with different variety of the data. Whereas your parameterization is you want to execute multiple operation or test cases with same set of data. Suppose say with true parameter, you want to do addition, you want to do subtraction, multiplication, division. So your parameter or value is fixed, but your different functionality or test case will be different. So with same data, 10 and 5, you want to sum it, you want to subtract it, you want to multiply it, you want to divide it. So parameters is nothing but similar data or same data you will be using in multiple test cases. Whereas data driven testing is like suppose you want to search the thing with different variety of the combination. So same test case you will be executing with different variety of the data. So that are the different important features available in TestNG. Sometimes people used to ask, right? A TestNG came from JUnit, but what are the difference between the JUnit and TestNG? So JUnit came before the TestNG and TestNG came later with some added advantage. JUnit, TestNG inspired from JUnit. JUnit primarily used by the developer, but nowadays in case you are using BDD framework, you can still use it. But TestNG primarily used by the tester for the system integration testing or the end-to-end testing. There are a lot of annotations which is only available in the TestNG but not there in the JUnit, like before and after shoot, before after test, before and after group, all this stuff, right? In TestNG, it is possible to run Selenium WebDriver test case in parallel, but JUnit is having some sort of difficulty. Grouping feature is not available in the JUnit, but grouping feature is available in the TestNG. That are the couple of difference primarily between the JUnit and the TestNG. Okay, so I will take a pause, guys. Okay, lot of theoretical part has been covered as of now. Okay, in case you are having any doubt, I can explain it. Anyone, any doubt? So slowly, whatever I have told, now you'll be able to see the implementation. So how to start with the TestNG? So you need to open the Eclipse first. Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, yes, yours. Okay. So we need to open the Eclipse and you need to navigate to the Eclipse Marketplace option. Okay, so I already have opened my Eclipse. You need to help Eclipse Marketplace. It might take couple of second time and here simply search with TestNG. So this is the only one time activity because this TestNG will be associated. Can you go on mute please? It is echoing. So it is only one time activity. Once TestNG is associated to Eclipse, you no need to install again and again and again. So only it is one time activity. So once your Eclipse marketplace is open, then you need to search here called TestNG. Once it is searched, there will be some sort of options will be there called TestNG, and you need to simply select and install it. Maybe you need to kind of go for some sort of agreement. You need to just select it and then you need to restart it. Okay, that's all. TestNG. So it is already installed in my system. I need to restart the Eclipse because once first time TestNG you are installing, you could say that is the option, right? It is already installed, so that is showing is installed. Otherwise, install button will be there. You need to simply click and install, and after that you need to restart your Eclipse. Okay, install now and restart your Eclipse. So that is the first part. Second part, once your TestNG is available, right? Then you can create a project simply, or you can go with the existing project. Similar way, you can create a package, right? No need to create a class right now. So you already having C project was created, then SRC folder was there, the training package was created. I can create one more package as well, not be a problem. Called package TestNG package, right? Then you can click on that project, right click simply, go to the properties. You can go to the Java build path. Then you need to click on add library. Instead of add external layers, you need to click on the add library. And you could see testing is already available because it's already associated to the Eclipse. After that, you need to click on next button and you need to click on simply finish. That simple step, you need to click on apply and close. Now you could see testing is added to your right to your project. So all the different kind of annotations, right? All different kind of classes, interfaces, whatever is there in the TestNG packages, it can be associated to the project. And whenever you are creating any kind of class or packages, those will be implemented always. So I have created a package. So I have installed TestNG. I have added the TestNG to my project. Now I need to create a class. So I need to create a TestNG class. Instead of Java class, I'll be creating a TestNG class. Right click here, go to new. So instead of class Java class, right, you can click on other, and here you can search with TestNG simply. And now you could see there's a folder called TestNG and there's a TestNG class, and you can click here next, right? The package is there. You can give some name called session 8 TestNG. Okay, There are a lot of annotations, whatever was available, you can select it, not be a problem initially, no need to select it. You don't need to give any XML path suite also in the initial time. Simply just change the class name, or you can go, you could see which folder class will be there created and which package it will be created, right? And you can click on finish. Now you could see the TestNG classes is got created, session 8 TestNG. Now you could see some sort of different thing, right, in the TestNG class whenever you are creating, right? Automatically import org.testng.annotation.package is getting implemented. And now you could see there is no concept of public static void main method at all. So by default add the test which is coming, this is the class, and there's a method is creating. So you can change the method, right? Say test method name is test, and you can give some body. You can give the method name as a one also. So testng test1 method. Okay. So let's differentiate it so that you can easily understand it. Okay. So at the rate test annotation means it is a test case, because in the previous class under the public static void main method you can have n number of steps, n number of line of step, but those will be considered as single test case only. But here in TestNG, right, you no need to create anything called public static void main method. In the session 7, right, you could see, and wherever line you are creating, that will be considered a single test case, right? And if you running it, it will be not giving you any kind of report. So your option you could see run as Java application. Try to understand, guys. Whenever you are creating any Java class, the in case you are want to run it, it will be showing as Java application. And after running it, it will not give you any kind of result that how many number of test case passed, fail, or any kind of report or as well. But in case you are creating any TestNG class, it will be giving some sort of report. It will be giving you some sort of statistics that how many test cases pass and fail, right? And every at the rate test annotation will be considered as a separate test cases instead of one test cases. So here it is running, right? Run, and is giving you the result in the console, but it is not giving anything, right? How many test cases pass, fail, all this stuff. But you are able to run as Java, right? Whenever you are running is it is a Java application. Okay, but here public static void main method is really mandatory, and your execution start from this method only. But TestNG you could see there is no such of, right, public static void main method, right? Instead of that, at the rate test annotation means it will be considered as a test cases, and then public void the method name and the method body, that's all. Now if you want to run it, what options will be displayed? Run as, you could see it is coming as TestNG test, not the Java application, because you have created a TestNG class, so it is giving you the option to run as a TestNG test. Now you can run it. So you could find some sort of differences. That public static void method is not required at all, right? You can create n number of test case in a single class. At the rate test annotation will be considered as a test cases, and definitely it should be associated by a method and then the body. Now you could see in the console, you are able to see, right, that TestNG test1 method, that is the output, right? But what is getting passed? Test1 get passed. Test1, what is test1? Test1 is the method name. So how many test cases run? One test case is run. There is no failure at all. If you go down, you are able to see, right, one test case is run. It is showing as default shoot, because right now we did not give her any shoot name. At that point of time, you will learn, you can change the shoot name, test name, everything. One run, one pass, there is no failure, there is no skip. Apart from that, in the lower section, there is an option called result of running class session 8 TestNG. So if you click here, you'll be getting some sort of more statistic. What got run, default shoot, what got run, default test, what other run, the package name dot the class name. TestNG package, the package name here, and then dot class name. Under this class name, how many method got run, what is the total time taken. If you go to the fail tab, fail test tab, in case something got failed, you could able to see. If you go to the summary tab, you could able to see what test got run, what is the second, how many class executed, how many method executed. So it is giving you some sort of statistic, right? Passed, failed, and skipped also. Apart from that, it will giving you some sort of default report. How you can get the report after running your test cases? If you just go to the project, right click and click on refresh button, F5 or refresh button. Automatically you could see after refreshing, there will be folder will be created called test-output, right? Expand the folder. There are a lot of, right, PNG file, HTML file will be there. Okay, so there is a option called emailable report.html. Select that one, right click here, go with open with web browser. If you open with, you could see it is giving you some sort of report. What run default test, right? What are the test cases fast, fail, skip, what total time second, what the method run, from which package, which class run, all this stuff you can get to know. So that is the way it will give you some sort of default kind of reporting and default kind of Mac, right? Other features. Now, in case you want to create one more test cases, so simply you need to follow the same pattern, right? At the rate test. Now you could see some error message is coming. Why the error message is coming? Because your method name cannot be same. It should be always unique. So you need to change the method name called to. I can change the body also, right? To. Now if you execute it, now your two test cases is running and two should be passed here. Okay. So now you could be able to see better different result. If you go to the console, you could see total two run. There is no failure at all. Okay, I will fail it couple of test cases. Later point of time, pass test two, pass test one. It will be alphabetical order. And TestNG method output, right? And this is the second output. Now if you go here, you could able to see one class run, two method run. If you go to the all test, also you could able to see under the package and class, right? Method one, method two got run. Now again, if you just go to the project, refresh it. Every time you need to refresh it, you need to go to that folder, test output. You need to select that one, emailable report. Now again, open with web browser. You could able to see now different, right? Total two method got passed. What are the method name? Test one and test two, right? Total time second. What is the skip, fail, all this stuff. So that is the way every time after running it, it will generate different kind of report. So it is different with the normal Java class. But in the real time, slowly you will be using implementing some sort of default framework. You will try to add more and more framework down the line, and it will help you. So in TestNG, there are different annotations available. I already told, right? So what are the importance of the annotations? An annotation is a tag or metadata which provides additional information about the class, interface, or method in TestNG. Annotations are used to keep the structure of the test class. This annotation invoke the methods according to the invocation time. So at the rate test you already know. This is the heart of TestNG, and every at the rate test will be considered as separate test cases. Whereas before class, after class, it will be only applicable whenever any class of kind of class is running or after, right? So in case you are giving something, it will be running the class level. Similarly, before group, after group, in case you are declaring some group, it will be running at the group level. Before method, after method, in case you are having n number of methods, so it will be running every time. Before test, after test, it will be running before at the rate test. So in case you are having at the rate test 10 times, it will be run for 10 times. Before shoot, after shoot, it will be only running for shoot level. So I'll cover what is all this stuff. Okay. So now let's try to implement it couple of annotations here. So as of now, we have created two test cases, but we will try to implement couple of other annotation. So it does not matter which sequence you are doing it. So TestNG, it does not matter the sequence, whatever way you are writing the code, but execution will be based on the alphabetical order. So you don't need to mention a sequence, but execution automatically will be done based on the alphabetical order. So at the rate, suppose say before test. So at the rate before test. Okay, B will be caps. Okay. Then here you need to create same way. Your method name, I can give something called before or b test, before test, right? Method name. So TestNG before test method. Now you could see some error message is coming. So I need to import it because this is the annotation coming from the TestNG annotation, right? You could see. Right now, similar way I can go with the after test. Similar way I can go with before group, before shoot, after shoot, like that, right? Before class, after class, before shoot. I need to import it as well from the TestNG annotations. I can go with before class, after class. It does not matter which sequence I am doing it, right? So you need to import it also before class, after class. Now I have a lot of annotations and do two test cases as well. Now there is no error message. I can save my code and I can try to run it. So it will be running it. Test case will be still two because at the rate test means only test cases. Remaining other annotations is a precondition or push condition supporting to the test cases. Now if you go to the output, right, you could see before should executed because that is should level. So it will be executed only one time. Then the before test method executed. That is related to test, right? Then this is before class executed. Then your test case executed, right? Test case 1 and 2. Then after class, then after test, and in the last, it will be after shoot, right? You could see after everything run. So total 2 run. So that is the sequence, right? What is the sequence? It will be like that. Before shoot, before test, before class, before group, before method. Then test will be executed. Then after method, after group, after class, after test, and after shoot. So before method and after method will be executed every test, but remaining thing mostly will be executed at the class level or should level or test level. So that is the way those will be supporting parameter. In the slowly you can learn how we can use them. Okay, slowly we will learn it. In the real time framework, how what is the importance of this different annotation and how it will save our time, how it will help us to maintain the code right with minimal effort, all this stuff. Yeah. Yeah, test is right. Class is suppose say in case you are having a class, okay, and test means in case you are having right add the test annotation, so that might be applicable for test also, okay, and class is applicable for the class level. So in case you want to execute three class, so every class you can do it and every class it will be executed. But at the test, before test, after test means, so whenever there is a at the rate test is there, those many times it will be executed. And method means it is method level. So within a at the rate test there might be couple of methods as well, so it will be executed every method level. So that is the way it will be executed. And should means whenever you are defining some should, right, it will be should level. So mostly right you can run a should, even you can configure multiple should as well. Okay, in testing there is a provision. So for, like, suppose in case you are running three should at the same time, so should will be executed three times. Then I will show you how to enable and disable test in TestNG. Let's try to create couple of more test cases. Let's comment out this part. Let's create a couple of more test cases. So I want to create 4 test cases, say test method 3, test method 4. Okay. So by default, I did not given any kind of right flag. Okay, or enabled equal to false. Okay, so I can run 4 test cases. So it will be giving me the result as total 4 test cases executed. Right? You could see total run 4 fail. But say in case you have designed 10 test cases or 100 test cases, but you don't want to run couple of test cases, you don't want to comment them as well, you don't want to remove from your code. So how you can do it? Okay. So TestNG provides an attribute for enabling or disabling the at the rate test. There are many times when user don't want to run particular at the rate test, and it's not a better way to remove the whole test method from the class and then add again in case user want to run that at the rate test again. So what we can do, by default, in case you are not giving anything, it will be considered as enabled equal to true. So that is the reason it is executing. But in case, right, if you want to make a practice enabled equal to true, you can give it. So that is similar in case you are giving anything or enabled equal to true. But in case you want to run, not want to run a couple of scenario, so what you can do, you can make enabled equal to false simply. So that will not be run. So in case you are not giving anything, so by default it will be enabled equal to true. Okay. So enabled equal to true, and here blank is same meaning. So in case you are not giving anything, TestNG will consider as default parameter called enabled equal to true. But in case you want to run, don't want to run any particular test case, you can make it enables equal to false. So that will be not be executed whenever you will be running it. So that way, in case you are having n number of test cases and you want to make something called disable from the execution, you can do it. Now you could see total number of run as 3. It is completely ignored by the TestNG. But I did not remove or comment it out anything, because sometimes it might create problems. So I'll simply make enable equal to true. And next time, in case I want to run it, I can make it either enable equal to true or I can remove that one. Now you can run. You could show test 2 was not got run, right? Test 1 and then 4 and 3, all this stuff. Here if you go with, you can see same way. Test 1, test 3 and test 4 not run. So that is the way TestNG is giving some mechanism, right? In case you don't want to, right, remove the code, you don't want to comment out the code, but you still want to disable the code from the execution for couple of at the test annotation, you can make them disable. How can you do that? Enabled equal to false. So blank or enabled equal to is the same meaning, so that will be considered for execution. But in case you don't want to execute something, you need to make enabled equal to false. Then the test case priority and sequential execution. So I already told, right? In the real time, say, suppose say, in case you are having 5 test cases, like one is for login, one is for other stuff, all this stuff, right? So those will be executed based on the alphabetical order automatically. Okay. Suppose say in case you can keep it, suppose say login, login first, right? Then you can give the method name called login, then search the product, right? Then the adding the product to the cart, then making the payment, right? Payment. So what will be executed fast? It will be executed fast because alphabetical order A is fast. But right, adding the product is card, I should not execute it the first. I should execute it the third. After login is successful, product is retrievable, right? Searching the product, then I'll be adding the product to the cart, right? All this stuff. Okay. But in case you are not giving any priority, right, your execution will be done, will be happening in the random order. Random means alphabetical order, and it will fail because past time, without logging into the system, without searching the product, it will try to add the product to the cart. Initially it will not be visible, okay, in the real time, so it will fail. So what we can do, I can give something called priority. Though it is executing based on the alphabetical order, I can change the execution order. You could see first A test is coming. Why? Because it's alphabetical order. It is A is fine. Then the P, then the L, then the S, right? 4. So that is the way alphabetical order it will be executing. And that will create the lot of noises in the real time. So sometime, right, we need to make it sequential execution so that your execution will not be interrupted, the flow will not be interrupted. So in any automation project, most times Testers are required to configure test suite to run test method in a specific sequence, or user must give precedence to certain test method over other. TestNG allows user to handle scenario like this by providing a priority attribute within @test annotation. By setting the value of this priority attribute, user can maintain order of the test method as per their need. In order to achieve, user need to add annotations, and here priority equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. But in the real time, you should give some priority called negative to positive. But you should give some sort of difference. Why? Suppose say today you are having 10 test case. So you can give something called 0, 5, 10, 15, 20 like that. Why you need to give some space? Later point of time, in case instead of 10 test case, you are adding 20 test case more. And some of the steps will come in between. So you can make it right 11, 12, all this stuff later point of time. But in case you are giving 0, 1, 2, 3, everything you need to change the sequence. That is the reason result time. In case you are having 10, so you can give the priority called 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. And later point of time, in case you are adding something, you can add them in like in the mediator. So that is how it will help you. So priority can be also negative. So what I will do here, I'll be doing it called priority equal to say -10. So that will be executed first. Then this one I want to execute second. I can give the priority as 0. Okay, I mean I cannot give it. So in case you are not giving, it will take the default priority called 0. Here I can give it 10 plus 10. Here I can give in 20. So now what will be my sequence? So negative will be negative highest will be executed first, and in case you are not giving any priority, that will be considered as 0. So here after -10, 0 is second. So after that plus 10 is third and plus 20 is fourth. So my execution will be done on the sequence, whatever way I want to do it. You could see now. Your execution will be from 1 to 4, right? That is the way. Here you could get the better result, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now it is not executing based on the alphabetical order. Instead of that, it is executing based on the priority. So negative highest will run first, then the 0, and then the positive highest. In case you are not giving anything, it will be getting the 0 by default. And in case multiple test cases is having the same priority, so what will happen? So same priority will be treated as same. After that, within the same, in case whatever is alphabetical order low, that will be executed first, and then the alphabetical order more. So that is the way. So priority you cannot give anything called decimal or the float other value. Only it will take numeric value 0, minus, and plus, means integer value, right? You cannot change the priority words also. It will be exactly same. Even our uppercase lowercase is not same. It will be for exact priority equal to sign and then the numeric or integer value with negative 0 or the positive sign. Any other thing character, nothing will be included, right? Nothing can be. You can give -1 also, that will not be a problem. Any numeric or integer value with negative 0 and the positive sign. So that is the way you can do the sequential execution, right, with the help of priority in the using TestNG. I will take a pause, guys. Okay. Any questions? We will take it forward. Okay, in the real time means like, so you will be having some sort of test cases, right? So say real time, suppose I was giving a simple example, right? E-commerce site. Okay. So that slowly you'll be learning, you'll be using data driven approach, all this stuff. So you'll be creating, suppose say 10 test case. One is for logging into the product application, then searching the product, where you can use data driven approach. You can have n number of test cases. Then once the search is done, then you'll be adding the product to the cart. Then like payment, you can have credit card payment, you can have bank payment, you can have any other payment also, right? Internet banking as well. Once the payment is done, right, you'll be want to see the summary, product summary. After that, your product will be delivered to your home, and in case you are not satisfied, you can return the product as well, and you need to close the browser. So that is the way you can have n number of test cases, right? And in the real time, you can give the priority. Okay. But later point of time, it will slowly change, because mostly we'll be doing the testing through the Excel sheet, right? On the everything will be try to run it in the Excel sheet, but this is the concept, right? In case suppose say small project like you are having only 20 test cases, so you no need to use the Excel sheet, right? You can use that TestNG framework itself to cover these 20 test cases and to run it, right? After giving the priority. So say I've been giving the priority as one, right, for my login, then my product, the searching the card two, then the like adding the product to the card three, then the payment is four, right? Then the returning is the five. That is the way. So that will be running one by one. And in case, right, you want to vary it, right, then you can also do it, right? Alternate flow and other stuff. Okay. But in the real time framework, right, whenever it's for the big project like more than 100 test cases, so you'll be slowly learning other concept as well. But every concept is accumulated, will be accumulated down the line, and that will create the base framework. Okay, so whenever you'll be developing the framework, either you'll be going with the keyword driven framework, hybrid framework, data driven framework, or BDD. But those framework, your TestNG and the JUnit concept will be used. Okay, so those are the kind of framework concept, but the TestNG and the JUnit is the inbuilt framework available in the market. These are the free kind of open source framework available in the market, and you need to use it because right, you'll be in the real time framework also, you'll be not be creating any kind of you can create a Java class, but you'll be using all the TestNG features, right? You'll be not be using public static void main method, all this stuff. Instead of that, you will be using all the TestNG annotation and TestNG thing. So that is the way in the real-time framework, right? You need to generate some report as well, right? You need to run, execute the step, right? N number of time, right? You need to add some sort of screenshot only for the failure, but you don't want to capture it for the positive one. So that is the way this framework concept will help you, and slowly you'll be learning, right? Right. This is the first topic from the framework, like because slowly you'll be going to build a framework in the integrated way. Okay. So hopefully after the session is over, like all the session is over, you'll be getting the integration, right? How this framework is able to help you to create the framework from the scratch also down the line. Yeah, yeah, I'll cover it in the next topics. Okay. Yeah, yeah, next exchange session. Yes, yes. So in tomorrow's session, I mean next session TestNG, you'll be able to learn the group concept. You'll be able to run the parameterization concept. You'll be able to run the concept called data-driven testing. You'll be able to learn the concept called listener. You can able to learn, right? You can learn how to execute only the failed test case instead of running all the test case. Apart from that, one more concept called parallel distributed testing. I'll be covering it next session. Okay, because these are the very important on the key feature from the TestNG, and you'll be learning it. Okay, we'll go to the remaining topic. Then I will show you in the real time how this kind of thing you can implement in the real time in today only. Okay, basic part, and remaining part I already told, it will be covered in the next session. Then the assertion, right? Somebody was telling that what is assertion, how we can add the assertion. Can you go on mute, please? This creating background noise. Okay. So as of now in the initial time, right? What we did, right? We have tried to kind of create different loop, right, for any kind of assertion. Okay, but in the real time, whatever framework you use in the does not matter. TestNG or JUnit will provide you the assertion part. Okay. Okay, means in case you want to add any validation point, you need to right, kind of add those things, and you need to validate it. So assertion in TestNG are used to verify whether the test is failed or not in TestNG framework and in automation framework as well. TestNG test case is considered to be passed only if all the statement in test case executed successfully, and in case any exception is thrown or expected result do not match with the actual result, then the test case considered to be failed. Assertion are used to verify the statement and test case in TestNG to decide whether the test case is pass or fail. There are two types of assertion primarily available in TestNG. One is called hard assertion, one is called soft assertion. So what is hard assertion? That is the question definitely will come in the interview, and you need to learn it. Okay, what is hard assertion? So hard assertion means, right, in case your test case is getting failed, your execution will stop there. Okay. In case your test case execution is failed, right? Your execution will stop there and remaining line of code will not be executed. That is the problem of hard assertion. But my intention in the real time is not to stop the execution. I can get the failure result that this is the number of step fail, but still I want to continue the remaining line of execution in the same test case or the other test case as well. So what I can do, I can use the soft assertion. So hard assertion are the usual assertion provided by TestNG. In hard assertion, in case of the failure, test execution will stop, preventing the execution of any further step within the test method and move on to the next method. So how we'll implement it? So as of now, I have 4 test cases, right? And here, so I can create some hard assertion. So TestNG test to method before assertion, right? And I can create one more line for one test case. Similar way, you can have n number of assertion in n number of test case after assertion. And here I will add assertion. So what is the hard assertion? So there is a class, right, called assert, assert. Okay. So if you use it, if you press dot, you could see all the thing will be coming. All the method will be coming from the assert class, right? You can assert, right? You can assert say equal. You could see here integer, right? Assert equal. So it will check to integer. Suppose you can give 20 and you can give 20 also. So it is passing simply, right? So there will be no failure because that is the validation point you want to implement. And in case there is a no failure, so everything will be executed also, right? Before assertion, after assertion. Okay. So now let's try to run it and let's see. Okay. So my 4 test case got run. And for my test method 2, you could see before assertion, after assertion also executing. Right? There is no failure at all. Test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4. Because I have given the priority. Now let's try to fail it. So it should get failed, right? So what happened? Once the failure is done, remaining line of code will not be executed. This code will not be executed. After hard assertion, execution will stop. And this line of code will not be executed. That's the problem with the hard assertion. But in case you want to debug some code, you can still use it. But in real time, you need to use soft assertion. But every concept you need to learn it. Now you could see one failure, right? What is the failure? You could see that is the failure, right? This is the what test case got failed. Test 2 failed, right? This is the test 2 failed. What is the failure? Java.lang.assertion error expected 21 but found 20, right? That is the failure. Which line number it's got failed? You can get to know, right? This is the line number 22. It got failed, right? So this is the number 22. It got failed, and that is the reason remaining lines of code will not be executed here, right? You could see after the assassin is come, immediately your thing will not be executed, right? Before assassin came into the output, but here it is not there. After assassin it not came, and now if you go here, you could able to see the failure test case, right? And if you want to just get the details of that thing, right, you can copy, you can you can go to the fail test case, select the fail test case in the thing, right side, you could able to see failure exception. You can select it, you can, there's an option called copy test and trace, and you can open some notepad and you can paste it here. Okay, you could see everything you can get in the notepad, and that is the way you can do more analysis. Which line number fail, what is there, all this stuff, slowly you'll be learning more there. Your main intention is what is the failure and which line number it got failed, and slowly you can definitely able to debug it. Now, as of now, you already seen the result for the past. Now if you right click here, go to the right click, go to the project, click on refresh, and now if you go to the test output folder, and if you select that emailable report HTML, if you open with web browser, you could able to see, right, 3 tests passed, one method got failed. Here this is the different passed and this is the failed. If you click it here, you could able to see what is the failure result. All details will be displayed here. What is the failure, right? So that is the way it will be giving you the more holistic, the default report of the test engine. But still, we can create more and more report down the line. We will show you. We can create the external report which will giving you the more and more proper report apart from the test engine default report. Okay. So that is the way your hard assertion will work. But the problem is that hard assertion that your execution will stop, the remaining line of code will not be executed from the same test method. So in the real time, I should not go with the hard assertion. Instead of that, I need to use the soft assertion always. So there are a lot of things available in the assert class. Assert equal, assert not equal, assert false, to all this stuff. You can use them. So simply you need to press dot and then you can get all the details methods available. So to deal with the disadvantage of hard assertion, customized error handler provided by TestNG is called soft assertion. Soft assertion allows user to have multiple assertion within a test method. Even when assertion fail, the test method continues with the remaining test execution. This result of all the assertion can be collated at the end using soft assert at the rate assert all method. So what I'll be doing it, I'll be creating a object or instance for the soft method assertion class. So first I need to create the object. I need to import the soft assert from the TestNG. And then if you press sa dot assert equal, same way all the method will be coming, right? Here instead of that I can go with some string. So I want to go some string. Okay. So this is failing, right? But here still it will not be fail. Okay, though it is not matching. So assert not equal. It should be matching. Assert equals. Okay. So it should not match. It should get actually fail it, but it still will not fail. It will execute and it will give you the pass result. Why? So in case you are using soft assertion, it is already mentioned in the note section. In case you are using soft assertion at the end, you need to always use that object dot assert all method, right? In case user forget to call assert all method at the end of the test case will pass even if the assert object through exception or fail. So don't forget to add assert all at the end. So that is the TestNG behavior. Okay. So we need to always at the end we need to use sa dot assert all method. That way we need to call it whenever you will be asserting. That's all. Now it will fail. Now you could see it will fail. Yeah, you could see it's failed. What is the failure reason? You can also get to know here. Which line number got failed, right? Expected EFT but coming as Selenium. That is the reason it is failing. Similar way, you can have real-time things. Suppose say in case your expected is coming, something I will show you, not be a problem. Then you can get to know more details. Okay. Then next one is like depends on method attribute. Okay. So why depends on method attributes required? So I already told, right? In case you want to like add the payment, before that one, if your first thing is that you need to make something, right? Your called your login is successful, product is available. Otherwise, there is no point of making the payment, adding the product to the cart. So dependency is a feature in TestNG which allows the test method to depend on a single or group of test method. This will help in executing a set of tasks to be executed before the test method. Method dependency will works if depend on method is part of the same class or any of the inherited base class. So depend on method attribute on a test method specifies all the test method depend on. So what I can do, I can suppose say this method I can make it dependency. But definitely dependent method should be executed first, right? So here say I can make something called dependency, right? So what are the annotation you need to give? depends on method. You need to give a comma here. Depends. If you don't know, you can give it like depends on method. And after that, you need to give second bracket, right? And then you need to give double comma, multi method. You can also make it double quote and the method name. That part I want to make it dependent. Okay. So what happened? In case my test case is getting passed, it will be passed. In case that is fail, instead of that it is failing, or it will simply skip it. So that is the benefit of the depends on method. So that right, I don't want to fail the test case. I want to simply skip it. Now you could see it is skipping. So in case my login is not working, right, my product is not available, there is no point of executing the payment related part and simply wasting my time. So what I will may do in case my previous test case is getting failed, I will not execute the remaining test case at all. It will simply skip it and I will save my time. That is the objective. Here your test case is getting failed due to some problem. So wherever dependency is there, simply I want to skip it instead of executing. So you could see test method 3 will be skipped it. So it will not execute at all in case it is failing, right? You could see test method 3 is not there. So why it is skipped, you could see it is getting skipped. Okay, it is getting skipped. Why? Because your depends on method is not success. In case depends on method is success, then it will be not be a problem. So then it will be executed. So once your previous method is success, then only your depends on method will be executed successfully. Otherwise it will be simply skipped. Now you could see 4 is passed, there is no failure at all. As and when it is, you can give instead of selenium, you can selenium 1, again it will fail, so it will again simply skip it. Now if you go to your projects, right, you can want to see like report like the skipping also, right? You can go here, you can select that emailable report HTML, you can open with web browser again, and you could see now one method skipped, one failed, two pass. What is the reason for fail, skip, everything you can get to know here, right? It will display everything. Now say, though my depends on method is failing, but still, right, I want to execute it. It does not matter. So what I can do? I can, there's a always mechanism called always run. Suppose if my test case is failing, but still, right, I want to execute all these methods. Suppose I want to close my browser, I want to get something, right, so that I want to still execute it. So though my depends on method is getting fail, and I still want to continue the other method wherever dependency is there, I need to make it something called always run, always run equal to true. So it does not matter whether my dependent method passing or failing, still it will be run, right? Passing definitely will run, but in case it is failing, it will still also run. In case you are making it depends on method, always run equal to true. Now you could see there will be no skip, right? Failure one, it is failure. For that method is dependency, there's a dependency on the third method, right? Test method 3, test 3, but still it is run. Why? Because it is, I have mentioned always run equal to true. But in case you are removing always run equal to true, then it will not be executed, it will be skipped because your test method 2 is getting fail. But still in case you want to write falsely run something, though your previous condition is not getting met, so you need to always use always run equal to true. That is the only way. So in case always run attribute set to true for any test or annotation, this test method will always be run even when the dependent method got fail or skip. Okay. Next two important couple of stuff is called invocation count. So I already mentioned, right? In case suppose say you need to execute a step n number of time, especially for the test data condition part, right? You need to execute them n number of times. So what you can do it, right? You can make something called invocation count equal to say 5. So what will happen? It will run for 5 times. So that simple thing, right? You can have n number of code, you can have n number of data created here, and it will run simply 5. Tomorrow you need to run for 10 times, you can simply change it to 10. That is the beauty of TestNG. Now let's try to run it and let's see. So your total number of test cases is 4, right? Method 1, 2, 3, 4. But why it is running as 7? Total 8. Because that got run for 4 times and remaining 3 as 1 time, right? So you could able to see here result also, right? Test method 1 got run for 5 times. Now if you go here, you could see test method 1 run for 1 by 2, 2 by 5, 3 by 5, 4 by 5. So total 5 iteration got run. Now if you just change it to 10, so automatically you need to update only one place. That's all. You could see. Now total run 13 because 3 test cases run for one time and one test case run for 10 times. Right? You could see now 1 by 10, 2 by 10, 3 by 10, 4 by 10, like 10 by 10. That is the way. Now the problem will come here. Say my test case is getting failed. Okay. So here I can simply give something called sr.srd equal. I can fail the test case. That simple thing. So what will happen? My test case will be fail. But in case one thing is getting fail, I don't want to execute the remaining iterations because I don't want to waste the time. I already know it is failing for some of my script, right? You could see failure 11. Okay. So because every time, every test case might take 5 seconds, 5 minutes time to execute. So I'll simply lose 50 minutes time to run 10 times for the failed test case, which is having simply zero output. So what I can do, I can, in case my test case is failing, right, I can make it skip fail invocation. In case any test case is getting failed, remaining iteration will be simply skipped. Skip fail invocation equal to true. Make it true. So what will happen in case anything is getting failed, remaining thing will be simply ignored or skipped. In case it is a pass, there will not be a problem. It will be executed 10 times. In case it is fail, you could see, right? Failure 2. Why? This is only one failure, this is only one failure. Remaining thing will be simply ignored. Right? You could see, right? Skipped. Remaining thing. Because I don't want to waste my time in case of failure. Now, in case it is a past, so there will be no impact. It will be running for 10 times. So that is the beauty, right? I can make it skip invocation count, and apart from that, I can add skip fail invocation to reduce the fail percentage. In case it is a failing, right? So it will only fail one time, and remaining iteration it will simply skip it instead of running it. But in case it is a pass, so all the iteration will be executed. That is the way, that is the beauty. I can use them all this part. The last topics I will cover. Before that, I will try to give you some real-time example. Okay. So let's create one more project class, TestNG class, or you can create a Java class, not be a problem. Let's create a Java class. Okay. Say session 8 TestNG practice. Okay. You don't need to select the public static void main method. No need to select it. Okay. Here instead of that, what I can do, I can use at the rate before method, right? I can copy it, public void, say it is called setup method in the real time, right? I'll be adding the remaining line of code later. Okay, so I need to import it before method testng. Similar way, I need to create one more method called after method. It is called tear down method, and I'll add the remaining line of code, and I'll be creating a test method, right? No need to any sequence at the rate test. Okay, here I need to create something called, okay, so I can say Facebook home page. So what I'll do, whatever one thing I just want to do it, I will be copying it here. Okay. So I'm setting the properties, I'm creating a Chrome diver, I'm maximizing it, I'm deleting the cookie, I want to 10 for 1 second. But I can create some global variable. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll create some global variable. WebDriver driver. Okay, what I'm creating the global variable, so that variable can be accessible in every method. So here I'll be simply quitting the method. Driver dot quit every time. For every test case, I want to quit my browser. So that is the reason I have created some global variable, so that that global driver variable can be accessible in on the method. Okay, so that is the way you can create some global variable. WebDriver. So that is the way simply. I'm setting the properties. Then I'm creating a instance for the Chrome diver, maximizing in the delete cookies, and this is my setup method. So every time for every test case run, it will execute one time. And tr method is nothing, but it is for every test cases. It will be executing after test case execution over. Then for Facebook homepage, what I can do, I can simply go driver dot get URL, right? You could see get, and I can write go with the Facebook URL, copy it, and I can. What is the problem? 1 second. After the Facebook URL is launched, I can get with like driver. Okay, I can print it out also. SO right? Print it out. System SO dot driver dot get current URL title. Right? I can go with driver dot get current URL. That is the way real time. Okay, and like that. So I already having set up all this stuff. Then I can create tomorrow one more method, right? One test cases called like say Google. Similar way, I can have n number of test cases. So here instead of simply Google, right? Now let's try to run it. Okay, now you could see this is common. In case I need to change something, I will be only changing the setup method and tr method, and I can have n number of test cases there. Just I'm giving you simple one, but I can have after the Facebook page one opening, then same test case I can run it after logging into the credential, all this stuff. Here I can go with the Google. I can like search with something. I can have a number of test cases like that. I can have 20 test cases, 30 test cases like that in the real time. Now you could run, you could see able to execute. So first every time it will open the new browser. You close it. Again every time it will open the new browser, it will open the Google page. Right? You could see the output. It is very fast. Right? First this Facebook part, then the Facebook login URL, then the Google part, Google login URL, right? That is the way past test case, Google test case. Now say like what is the current URL actually? This is my current URL, right? I can store in somewhere. Okay, string expected URL. That is my expected URL. Okay. And what actual URLs come, I will store in some string equal to driver dot get current URL, right? That is the actual current URL, actual URL from the system is coming, and I know my expectation is this. Now what I can do, I can assert it dot assert equal, right? It will be string, so I can go with the string actual. First one is actual, and second one is expected URL. So now both will be matching, so there will be no failure, right? I actual and expected is matching. So that is the way in the real time you can do with that similar way, exact mapping of the assertion. You could see. Now in case your expectation is changed, suppose say here you can typing one, so it will not match. Your actual will be coming as www.google.com, but expectation is like something like that. Okay, so it will not match, so it will fail the test case. So you can use hard assertion, soft assertion, whatever way you want to do it, that you already learned. You need to simply implement it one by one. Here you could see the test case will be failed. What is the failure reason? You could see failure, failed. What is the failure reason? Right? Expected was something, actually was something, coming as 1. Refresh it, go here, similar way it is getting failed, right? Refresh your project, go here, and it is getting failed. Okay. What is the failure reason? You can also get to know. Yeah, there are a couple of instances. So that is the way the real time you will be implementing it like that. Now the thing is that right here you are getting an option to run a single test case or a class. But if I want to run the multiple class at the same time, will the test engine is providing me the option right now? No. I can run only single class. Okay, then what is the option I can if I want to create a multiple class? Okay, so I need to create the project, right? Packages, then the multiple classes. I can create a number of code. Then what I need to do, I can select the project. I can right click. There's an option called TestNG. There's an option called convert to TestNG. Select it. And as of now, you already seen, right? Whenever you are selecting, running is it is showing as default to default test always. It is not giving any test, right? So those part also I can change it. Convert to TestNG, and here, right, you can simply give it the suit name. Say TestNG suit. Say TestNG test. Whatever you will be giving, those will be executed. Now you can simply click on finish. Okay. Now you could see in the down the project, right, there will be some sort of testengine.xml file will be created. Okay. This is the heart of the test engine in the real time. Testng.xml file. Now you can see here, you can give the suit name, you can give the test name, right? Whatever test class you want to execute, only the testng class should be included here, not the Java class. Java class you can do it, but that should be converted to testng, right? Because using at the rate annotation means that is already converted to testng. But in case you are still using public static void main, that means simply it is Java class. Now you could see, right, I can execute multiple classes from the multiple packages at the same time as well. Now if you save it, right, if you right click here, this option will be coming called testng suite, not the testng test. Initial level, if you try to execute in Java class, it will be right click Java application. In case any TestNG class, it will be coming as TestNG test, right? But in case you want to run it through with the help of the TestNG.xml file from here or here, it does not matter. It will be coming as TestNG suite. Means you can run a suite. You can run multiple classes from the multiple packages. So it will be running based on the alphabetical order, right? One by one. You could see now total number of 15 class run. So from where? It is like that. This is also done. This is also done. If you go here, you could able to see now, right? Suit name got changed. Test engine suit, whatever I have given here. Test name also got changed. Now this is the package name of the class name, right? TestNG is package name, then the class name is TestNG session 8 TestNG practice, where two class was there, two method was available, and the other package dot class name, other method was also available, right? So that is the way, right? You can create again one more class and you can add it under the classes tag. So here tag will be suit, then the test, then the classes tag, and under the classes tag it will be class, multiple class, n number of class from the same project with the name as package name, not the class name. So that is the way it will help you to execute multiple classes from the multiple packages from the same project with the help of TestNG after converting normal project to a TestNG project. Okay. So I will cover one more time. Then in case you are having any questions, I will take it up. So in real time, right, in case of you want to develop some framework, so framework will be data driven, keyword, hybrid, BDD, TDD, all this stuff. But default framework already available open source, which is like testing and JUnit, which is having a lot of features, right? Primarily, you can do add different kind of assertion using TestNG. You can run the test case in the parallel way, right? You can make something dependency. You can prioritize the test cases like 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can do the sequential execution. You can group the test cases. You can do the data-driven testing. Same test case can be executed n number of times with different variety of the data. You can able to generate some beautiful report with the help of default testing or genuine features, right? You can run n number of test cases with the same set of data, which is called parameterization, right? So JUnit initially came previously, and primarily it was used by the developer, but for the unit testing. But stress testing is having a lot of added features, which primarily used for the end-to-end testing by the testing team. So you need to go to the Eclipse, and then you need to go to the Eclipse marketplace option. You need to search with TestNG, and you need to just download it. Once downloaded, it will be available for the Eclipse project level. And after that, you can create a normal project. Then the package, right? You need to associate the TestNG as a library in your project. Then you can create a class, or you can create a Java class as well. But you need to use the no need to select the public static void main method. Instead of that, you can select add the test. So every add the test annotation will be considered as separate test cases. Okay, apart from that, there are a lot of annotation like before test, before class, before method, after method, before should, after should, like that, we can be used it. So that is the sequential execution, right? Before should, before test, before class, before group, before method. Then your test cases, after method, after group, after class, after test, after should. You can write in case you are having n number of test cases, you don't want to remove the code, you can make them disable or enable as and when required with the help of enable equal to true or false. You can do the sequential execution like with the help of the priority, you can give it negative to positive one. In case you are not giving any priority, it will be taken as a default priority, and your execution will happen based on the alphabetical order only. Okay, you need to use priority equal to some value. There are two assertion available in TestNG to add some validation point, because in the real time, your objective is not from one page to another page, right? Instead of that, you want to add n number of assertion point whenever required. So you can go with the hard assertion, but hard assertion is not like kind of recommended in the real time framework, because it will stop the execution at that point immediately. Instead of that, you can use the soft assertion, right? Your test case might fail, but your remaining lines of code execution will happen with the help of the soft assertion. At the end, you need to use assert all method, otherwise your soft assertion will not work. Depends on method. You can make something, some test case as dependency for the precondition part, and in case your main method is not working, your dependent will be always skipped. But in case still you want to execute, you need to use always run equal to true attribute. In case you want to execute single test case n number of times, you can give the invocation count equal to like x, and it will be executed for x number of times. But the problem will be coming whenever your iteration is fail, everything will be fail. But you don't want to write fail that n number of iteration, because it will be time consuming process and it will irritate you, right? Same reason. So you can make skip fail invocation equal to true. So in case your test case is getting passed, it will be executed for n number of time. But in case your test case is getting failed, it will only fail for one time, and remaining iteration will be skipped. You can create a Java project, you can create a package, you can create a number of class, you can write down the code. After that, you can convert the whole project to a TestNG project, so that automatically TestNG.xml file will be created. Where should level, test level, then classes tag. Under the classes tag, you can have n number of classes from the different packages, from the different classes within the same project. Then you can run it with the help of TestNG suite. So automatically, right, you will be able to run multiple TestNG packages, multiple TestNG classes with the help of TestNG suite. So that way you will getting more like better result, and it will help you, right, to run n number of classes from the n number of packages. So that's all from today's session, guys. Remaining important topics from the test engine will be covered in the next session. Thank you.